15 deepest lakes in the world. Lake can be found everywhere, in mountainous regions, basins, melted glacial areas and rift zones. They have been formed by glacier movements, landslides, ice damming, sinkholes and volcanic eruptions. Depending on where exactly they are located, lakes vary in volume, area and depth. If you ever wondered which lakes were the deepest, these are the 15 deepest lakes in the world. 1. Lake Baikal, Russia. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is the deepest lake in the world, at 1,642 meters. Lake Baikal also happens to be around 25 million years old, making it the world's oldest lake. The lake was formed by an ancient rift valley and holds 20% of all unfrozen freshwater on the planet, more than the water of the 5 North American Great Lakes. It also happens to be considered one of the clearest lakes in the world. Lake Baikal is home to 60 native fish species, a freshwater seal population, 236 bird species and a plethora of other animals. In fact, in addition to being home to around 2,500 animal species, the lake also hosts over 1,000 plant species. 2. Lake Tanganyika, Tanzania, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Burundi and Zambia. This African Great Lake is not only the world's longest freshwater lake, but, at 1,470 meters, it's also the world's second deepest. If that's not enough, Lake Tanganyika is the second oldest lake in the world after Lake Baikal. The lake holds 18% of the world's freshwater and is home to its very own sardine species, sponges and jellyfish. As well, there are around 250 species of cichlid in the lake, 98% of which are endemic. Lake Tanganyika can be found in the Albertine Rift in Central Africa, surrounded by mountains and valleys. The lake's fish feed the 10 million or so people that live in its basin, with fish coming from around 800 fisheries around the lake's 1,828 kilometers shoreline. 3. Caspian Sea, Iran, Russia, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan. At 1,025 meters, the Caspian Sea is the third deepest lake in the world, holding around 78,200 cubic kilometers of water. The lake is a remnant of the ancient Paratethys Sea and became landlocked around 5.5 million years ago. Although called a sea, Caspian Lake is in fact a lake that gets 80% of its water from the Volga River. It is located in the Caspian Depression around 92 meters below sea level, bounded by 5 different countries. The famous beluga sturgeon resides here, as does 5 other species of the ancient fish and numerous other fish species. The lake is also home to the endemic Caspian seal, the Caspian turtle and baleen whales. 4. Lake Vostok, Antarctica. This subglacial lake is the largest in all of Antarctica as well as being the 4th deepest lake in the world. It's located beneath Russia's Vostok station at the southern pole of cold at -500 meters below sea level. Lake Vostok actually sits under the central East Antarctic ice sheet around 4,000 meters under the surface of the ice. Its average depth is 432 meters and it holds around 5,400 cubic kilometers of freshwater. The lake is thought to be up to 25 million years old, though it wasn't actually discovered until 2012. It is covered by an ice cap, resulting in a high gas concentration. 5. O'Higgins or San Martin Lake, Chile and Argentina. The lake with 2 names is located in South America's Patagonia region at an elevation of 250 meters. It's known as O'Higgins Lake in Chile and San Martin Lake in Argentina, and at 836 meters is the deepest lake in the Americas. The lake is located near the O'Higgins Glacier and surrounded by sweeping mountains, creating quite a scene. As a result, it has a milky light blue color due to the rock flour within the water. The lake can be visited from El Chaltén in Argentina or Villa O'Higgins in Chile. There is also a boat that travels around the lake on the Chilean side. 6. Lake Malawi, Mozambique and Tanzania. The second deepest lake in Africa, Lake Malawi is the 6th deepest in the world, at 706 meters. The African Great Lake is spread across 3 countries, and although it's officially called Lake Malawi, it's also known as Lake Nyasa and Lago Nyasa. The part of the lake that sits within Mozambique has been declared a reserve by the government of Mozambique, while the very southern end of it is part of the Lake Malawi National Park. The Miro-Mictic Lake can be found in the East African Rift System. Lake Malawi is an ancient lake that is estimated to be between 1 to 2 million years old. It's an extremely clear lake, with visibility being up to 20 meters on a good day. 7. Issyk Kul, Kyrgyzstan. You can find Issyk Kul in the Tian Shan Mountains at an elevation of 1,607 meters in eastern Kyrgyzstan. It's the world's 2nd largest saline lake, 2nd largest mountain lake, and at 668 meters, is the world's 7th deepest. Issyk-Kul is surrounded by mountains, though the lake itself never freezes. It's the country's first nature reserve as well as being a Ramsar site because of its important biodiversity. The lake is home to many endemic fish, with 4 species being seriously endangered. There is also some unique nature landscapes and waterfowl, making it a lake that should be high on the list of places to visit in your life. 8. Great Slave Lake, Canada. Great Slave Lake is the deepest lake in all of North America as well as being the 10th largest lake in the world and the 8th deepest. The Northwest Territories' capital city of Yellowknife sits on the north side of the lake, while the Wood Buffalo National Park is just south of the lake. There are over 25 rivers that flow into the lake, including Hay River, Slave Rover and Taltstan River, which are its main tributaries. There also happens to be an ice road on the lake that connect Yellowknife to the town of Detta. There is evidence that the 614 meters deep lake's shoreline was inhabited by indigenous people from around 8,000 years ago. In fact, it shares its name with the First Nations Slavey people. 9. Crater Lake, USA. Crater Lake is in fact a crater lake that was formed by the collapse of Mount Mazama over 7,500 years ago. The lake is one of the biggest draws of the state of Oregon's Crater Lake National Park thanks to its magnificent clear deep blue water and stunning surroundings. At 594 meters, Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the USA and the 9th deepest on the planet. No rivers flow into the lake, instead it's filled by rain and snowfall. There are 2 islands within the lake, Wizard Island and Phantom Ship. Wizard Island is a volcanic cinder cone that rises 230 meters above the lake, while Phantom Ship is a natural rock formation. 10. Lake Matano, Indonesia. This natural lake is located in South Sulawesi in the southern peninsula of Sulawesi at an elevation of 382 meters. The 590 meters deep lake is the 10th deepest in the world and Indonesia's deepest. Lake Matano is owned by one of the largest nickel mines in the world, Vale Canada Limited. Still, the water is exceptionally clear and has great visibility. Every year tourists flock to the lake to enjoy the Lake Matano Festival. It's also a great place to go boating, fishing, swimming and even diving. 11. General Carrera Lake, Argentina and Chile. Also known as Lake Buenos Aires, the 11th deepest lake in the world is located in Patagonia and surrounded by the Andes Mountains. It's a glacial lake that drains into the Pacific Ocean. The lake is extremely beautiful thanks to its surroundings as well as its own geological formations. In fact, it's home to unusual formations that were formed by waves around 6,200 years ago. There are a number of quaint settlements around the lake on both the Chile and Argentina side that are used as a gateway. A ferry runs between Puerto Ingeniero Ibañez and Chile Chico on the Chile side, connecting the north and south sides of the lake. 12. Horningdalsvatnet, Norway. Not only is Horningdalsvatnet the deepest lake in Norway, but also in all of Europe. Although it's quite deep at 514 meters, its surface area is just 51 square kilometers. There are 4 charming villages along the lake's shoreline and European Route E39 highway is close by. It flows out to River Eidselva, which then flows into Eidsfjorden. Every year in July the lake is the site of the Horningdalsvatnet Marathon, with runners starting at the north side of the lake and making their way around it. If you are a marathoner, this is a race not to miss. 13. Lake Toba, Indonesia. This large natural lake sits in the caldera of supervolcano in North Sumatra at a surface elevation of over 900 meters above sea level. It's the largest lake in Indonesia, the world's largest volcanic lake and the 13th deepest lake in the world. The site of Lake Toba was the result of a massive supervolcanic eruption that occurred between 69,000 and 77,000 years ago. Apparently this was the largest eruption on Earth over the past 25 million years. Lake Toba is home to the Batak people who have villages around the lake's shoreline. Tourists visit the lake to learn about the culture of the people, see important Batak sites, and, of course, be in awe by the lake itself. 14. Karakul, Tajikistan. Karakul is a 230 meters deep lake that sits right inside an impact crater in the Pamir Mountains. The lake is part of the Tajik National Park and is an important bird area. Some of the bird species that live around the lake include Himalayan vultures, Tibetan sandgrouse, white-winged snowfinches, bar-headed geese and Caucasian great rosefinches. The islands in the lake is where most of the waterbirds nest and rest. Much of the lake's surroundings are used for grazing, although it does sit at an elevation of 3,900 meters above sea level. It's one of the highest lakes in the world and in 2014 hosted the Roof of the World Regatta, making it the highest sailing regatta in the world. 15. Saras Lake, Tajikistan. Saras Lake was created by the 1911 Saras earthquake that also formed the Usoy Dam. The lake sits at an elevation of 3,263 meters and is 202 meters deep, making it the 15th deepest lake in the world. The lake is located in the Pamir Mountains and holds around 16 cubic kilometers. Surprisingly, water doesn't flow over the top of the dam and into the smaller Shadao Lake. This is Tajikistan's biggest naturally formed, and its scenery is nothing short of jaw-dropping. You will need a permit and a local guide to visit the lake, though these are easy enough to get through a reputable travel agent. Thank you for watching Earth and Culture. Check out our newest video right here. Plus, even more Earth and Culture videos are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.